Good morning, people. I got a partner today. Her name is Shadow. So she decided that she wanted to sit directly behind her dad because kids are annoying. If you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. Now, even if you don't have kids, you can still enjoy this movie, Nightcrawler. If you like Jake Gyllenhaal, you've probably already seen this movie because you like Jake Gyllenhaal, so you watch his movies. Which I don't blame you. I like Jake Gyllenhaal, so I watch his movies too. Except I had never seen this one. I don't know, slipped under my radar, whatever the case was. You figure at the time this movie came out, Afton was just being born. This was the year Afton was born. This movie came out, 2014. So, yeah, I was busy that year. It was one of those years where I didn't have a lot of free time. Um, this movie starts off. It's got slick cinematography. It's yes, thank you. I remembered you were there. I did. And I will do one of those TREATs later, okay? So, the cinematography is slick in this thing. It moves along very smoothly, glides. Clearly, the person who was in charge of this knew what they were doing. They knew what was going on. They had good ideas in their head. Um, One of the creepiest Gyllenhaals that I've ever seen. And you've seen him get a little creepy in a few things, but it's just with this dude. I I, I think he's one of the better thespians of our time, personally. But he just a haircut change can change this dude's whole character. He like the he just got like greasy with it and like slicked back and it looks creepy like you see a creeper and it just changed his whole demeanor. Like he doesn't seem to add too many other affectations, honestly. But I mean, his acting is different, but he doesn't like bend a weird way. I mean, maybe for Donnie Darko, he bent a little funny, but not all the time. That was a weird movie too. That must be covered. um. So seriously though, the guy can just inhabit an entire whole new character just by changing his haircut. So give you a plus on that, Gyllenhaal. You got a certain skill. So the hair change for this character just happened to be the creepiest and nastiest little scrotely stuff that I've ever seen, which I've never seen you doing. The other thing about this character is his creepiness is enhanced by his intelligence because he is quite smart in it and he does almost have like a charisma to him, which is creepy. It just is. Like the fact that bad people are charismatic concerns it should concern all of us, but it certainly concerns me. I would assume that most of the people who've gotten this far into any videos I've done probably concerns you too. I'd like to think that you're a thinking type of a person. Yeah, boy. So there's a moment in this movie where he has a flash of his Donnie Darko character, which I don't I don't know if it was welcome or not. It's hard for me to even tell. So I like to think that it didn't bother me, but it was kind of weird. It took me away from the film for a second where I was like, that doesn't fit this character. But then again, everyone's got a little bit of the tism. That's what they say. Rene Russo is great here. It's also quite creepy. Honestly, I guess just not to say that any of you people in that quick news get it to the get it to the station and get paid and let them throw up whatever just to entice people to watch. That's kind of gross. It's kind of gross. But that doesn't mean everyone involved in that industry is gross. So if you're one of those people, this isn't a commentary on you necessarily, unless you're gross and then shore it up You understand who you are. Get a freaking grip, man. God's sake. Bill Paxton is good here. He's always pretty good. It's Bill Paxton. There's nothing else to be said. If you know, you know. And his performance in this is also kind of creepy. A little less so than the other two, but that could be just because you see their stories more than his. His story is kept more to the outskirts of what's occurring, so it could be that, but they do give a healthy competition, and inside that competition there is the the tension that the movie brings, because otherwise it would just be completely imbued with creepiness, and I don't know if it would have made for as good of a film. So they had to have something in there that took away from the creepiness for a second, but built a little bit of tension, because the creepy things weren't tense; they were just creepy and gross. Honestly, it kind of gross. Like, yeah. um, they really did a good job using shadows in this movie. They did a good job using mirrored images. So, it's a little nod to the artistic kids out there, which is cool because I'm an artistic kid. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit artistic as an adult, but not like I was as a kid, which is unfortunate. I do some things with Afton here and there, and I still like freestyle rap all the time, but that's mostly when I'm by myself. I don't do it in front of crowds anymore. So, although it's not necessarily that I wouldn't, I just don't. So, occasionally someone else will get to hear me freestyle and they'll be like, damn, you're terrible. It comes with no practice, but it's all good. Um, there's a couple moments of levity in this movie where they try to lighten the tone, only slightly, and it worked for the most part. I think that the subject matter isn't funny, so it's hard to work a laugh in where things really aren't funny, but they did a pretty good job about it. Um, I don't know why this movie was made, but I'm still glad it was made. If that makes any sense. It doesn't seem to have any driving purpose or point. Just a little bit. Yes, okay, I know. It is the day. We are working. Mm-hmm. And I'll see you shortly. Um, it I think maybe, like, I'm so imbued with world politics and news politics that I knew when I was 11 years old that the vast majority of news is propaganda, no matter what country you live in, and that includes this one. So they never really had me as an adult, but they have had many people. I know many people still to this day who watch CNN or Fox News religiously and think that they're entirely informed about the world, and you're like, you still believe that even in this age? That's nuts. So it's not that I'm calling you crazy if you believe that, but a lot of it is propaganda. A lot of it, guys. Okay? So it could be about that, I guess. The overarching narrative is just about media propaganda. Maybe a little bit. They tried to make it a little bit about human nature and the darkness inherent in all of us. I don't think they really hit the mark on that part for me. So it really seems more like just a story about what people will do to get paid and what people will do to get clicks and views, and I guess that's a story of the human narrative, but in my estimation, in this movie in particular, they made it so cold and unfeeling. And plus the stupidity of the assistant, that made it a little rough to watch. I liked the guy who played him, honestly. I liked the character, but he was so dumb. So dumb that it's essentially unforgivable. So, when I think about this movie overall, I did like it. There's a lot to lend here. As far as filmmaking goes, like I said many times, the cinematography was great in this thing. The camera work is really well done, excellently well done. I think the writing might have been the weakest part, which, like I said, it's still a good movie. Leads me to give it a 7.5, and mostly carried by Gyllenhaal, who is always quite good. And in this movie, if they could have, you know, if the narrative just expressed something a little deeper, I could have easily got it to a 9. But that's my thoughts on this movie. If you have thoughts about this movie, you think I'm wrong, please share them in the comments, or just come on and say, damn, that guy's handsome.